Welcome back to NH Unscripted, where we are your magic carpet ride. I am your Steppenwolf-like host, Ray Dudley. Oh, mama, if the pre-show is anything like what I hope the rest of the show is going to be like, you are in for one heck of a ride today. Yeah, I got my Nehru jacket on, and we are trucking on. You know, fire up those lava lamps, warm up those water beds, and let's get started. Break out those Sony Walkman, oh, for goodness sakes. Anyway, flip them on over to 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. Those are Concord-based. 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls of Manchester. We love you down there. NHTalkRadio.com is where all the cool kids hang out. That is our URL. For a return visit, almost a part 2 edition, is Mackenzie Goodwin and Angèlica Rosenthal. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's radio. You can talk. It's okay. It's okay. Just jump right in there. The pool's fine. So, I have questions that you would not allow me to ask previously because the event needed to happen. So I just want to spend a little bit of time, because I did not go to the NHTAs. For folks who are listening who don't know what that is, it's kind of inside baseball. New Hampshire Theater Awards, basically.
Baseball.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I don't.
So first, give me an overall, what's your opinion of how the night went? And we'll go from there.
Honestly, maybe a better question for Mackenzie. I was not in the audience the whole night.
Yeah, I think it went well.
Where were you?
I directed.
Coke out back? I mean,
I wasn't Catherine there. Cruel Intentions did not perform. No. I was coordinating backstage with a lot of groups, and one of my kids' groups was performing, so I wanted to make sure they were all set and all settled, and the performance ensemble was all settled. And so if anything was a question mark, I was either sitting in the tech in the back or I was backstage.
Yeah. Your role was, you said,
I was the director and the
thing.
choreographer, and I did a lot of the writing. I wrote the script.
We're going to come back to you in a minute. Mackenzie,
Yeah.
what was your opinion?
From my point of view, I thought it went great. It's always interesting to hear about the process going on behind the scenes with Angèlica, and I knew a lot of the people in the performance ensemble. So it's always fun to sit there and watch it all come together. It was great to see performances from companies that I didn't make it out to see shows at this year. And we had some friends win stuff, so that's always cool.
Yeah?
I also just love dressing up and seeing people. So
Was it packed?
Yeah, it was over 800 tickets sold.
No kidding.
Yeah, which was, I believe we sold more than we did last year. So a true testament to how well last year's went, to be honest.
Was it a nice warm night? Heck no, it wasn't.
I never left the theater from noon that morning. What? So I couldn't tell you.
You are a dedicated soul. So, lengthwise, how would you say? Is it good 3 hours, 4 hours?
We strive to keep it under 3 hours. I definitely think we did keep it under 3 hours.
Yeah?
We moved Act 1 pretty quickly.
yeah.
Would you say the acts, the performing acts, so how are they even determined who's going to do what they're going to do?
Sure. So we pretty much put out a Google form of, if you would like to perform, please submit all this information, what song you want to do, what scene you want to do, what it entails, what we need to know, any special effects, all that, who's going to be in it, how many actors. We ask that people have the same performers that performed the original show, and if they're not, to let us know so we can thumbs up or thumbs down that, because what we don't want is, here's the cast of Rock of Ages with no one who was in the cast of Rock of Ages.
No
like,
kidding.
we don't want that.
Yeah.
And then basically we all get together, the producers, the musical director, myself, and kind of go show to show what will work. We want to have a balance of kids shows and adult shows, straight shows, musicals, and, large pieces, small pieces.
What, was there a cutoff number, like 10 or 5 or 6?
We took more than last year. I think we only had 8 last year. And we took, I think, 12 or 13 this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was many more performance groups this year.
Is that for the better or the worser or whatever?
Pretty neutral.
Yes, I think
that's, I don't know what worser is, but I think that is what people enjoy the most in the evening, is being able to showcase and see other groups. I mean, almost all of the groups that performed, I did not see their show.
Yeah.
I think there were maybe 2 that I had, not counting the one I did. But I think that's nice, and especially when there's these companies from way up north or way south that just never see each other. Now they can see a little piece of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's one night a year where you kind of get to see a lot of things you would never ever see, right?
Preach.
I mean, a lot of folks who don't go way up north and see any shows. Yeah, so it's you don't even know some of the folks who are up there, right? I mean,
no, I met most of them through this. To be honest,
I believe it. So, would you say it went well? Was it smooth and everything? For you, from your perspective, did it flow
I think
fine?
that the performance and the final product was highly smooth, professional, and moved very cleanly.
Yeah.
I think the process to getting there was bumpy through no fault of anybody but the theater companies themselves.
Oh, that's an interesting comment.
I, as a director and as somebody running an event with the team I have, we run really efficiently and we try to gather information and get information, but we were not getting information we were asking for from a lot of people, which left a lot of question marks, which is what I don't want to walk into in a performance.
No kidding.
That's an opening for something to go wrong and something to be unsafe, and I don't want that. And so, there was a situation where we ask anybody who's nominated to RSVP if they're coming. It's because if you're not coming, we're going to accept the award on your behalf. We're going to walk on. And we did have a theater company who didn't respond to us at all. And I had sent out an email that said, if you don't tell me, we're assuming you're not coming. And that is what we did. And yet then we have people yelling in the audience at one of my presenters. No, they're here. Okay.
Huh.
And I felt terrible because my presenter was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you're sorry. You did a fine job.
If only someone would invent tech, right? Where people could just email you, text message you, phone you.
And again, I don't think I should have to, track people down. It's you're winning.
Dude, it's a 15-second thing. You just type it out. I'm coming, I'm not. Come on.
Right. And I think I did feel bad for the people running it who felt like they kind of did a bad job because of that. And I was like, that's not on you.
Yeah.
To all of our knowledge, they weren't going to be here. You handled it well. They were able to come up and make a speech and get their award. But it could have been avoided.
Yeah, no kidding. Any surprises for the night? Anything that either one of you, that you're like, oh, did not see that coming, or, ooh, that was kind of uncomfortable. Was there, you're talking 900 theater people, 800 theater people. There's nothing that shocked you that night? Not even somebody who...
I've been doing theater for so long, nothing shocks me anymore.
Well, that's true. I should have...
Nothing shocks me at all.
But nothing surprised you from the evening? And I'm not just talking, theater-wise, but for the way it went and,
No, I run a tight ship. We were all very, very in line. I did projections this year as well. So, we teched Thursday and Friday, and we teched Saturday morning all the way to an hour before house opens, to make sure that everybody knew what they were supposed to do to the best of our ability, was on top of things. No, I think my biggest surprise of the night is that when I was introduced to do an award, the crowd was very excited to see me. And I was like,
well, that surprises all of us,
that's never happened to me. Wow, okay. Hi, guys.
Yeah. We're there. Mackenzie, you were up for an award, is that correct?
I was.
And?
I did not win. But it is okay because I'm proud of the work that I did.
Yeah, good for you.
And awards don't mean anything anyway.
Well said. I say that all the time after I don't win, too.
But, Mackenzie and I were both up for awards together.
Yeah, I heard you guys won something.
I did not, but Rose Chafee did as Blaine.
You did not?
I did not.
Oh.
I've never won a New Hampshire Theater Award.
I thought I heard you
Conspiracy?
did. Oh.
Who knows? No. I'm totally joking. No, actually, I really don't act very often, so this was my first time I was up, and so that makes sense. I don't act very often, but Mackenzie and I were both up in the same category together.
Ooh.
We did not win, but we have already won acting awards together. Yeah. So who needs another one?
I was thinking of the Broadway.
I did win Broadway World.
That's my fault on that one.
That's all right.
I gotta say, I saw the performances that won, and all the props to them. They were fantastic.
Yeah?
So
yeah, in what way? It just...
all the performers who ended up winning in our category were incredible.
They're incredibly talented people. Yeah. People we've worked with in other shows.
Yeah, good for you for giving them kudos. Instead of being jealous.
The category in general was full of people that I was like, I can't even believe. There was a nominee in the same category who was a drama teacher of mine in high school. So it was just cool for me to even
wow.
Yeah, be in a category with people I looked up to.
Yeah. So were there any special categories this year?
There were 3 special awards. It was the Kevin Riley Theater Hero, the Francis Glover Lifetime Achievement, and the Achievement in Youth Theater were the 3 special awards. And I'm going to be honest, Theater in a Box was the winner of the
I don't think
overall.
I know Theater in a Box.
Fantastic company. Super, super beautiful, nice speech.
All right, we're going to put a tack in it right there. That's very interesting. Very interesting. You are listening to NH Unscripted as if you didn't know that. Come on. You're sitting on the dock of the bay here. I am your Otis Redding like host, Ray Dudley. Yeah, coming to you from the YMCA-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. For the souls in Manchester, 101.9 FM. We love you down there. Mackenzie, Goodwin, and Jessica. Angèlica. I know, I'm getting old. Angèlica Rosenthal in the house. All right, we'll be right back. We're back. Baby, I told you we were trucking on. I told you. It's a 70s phrase right there. Because Papa's got a brand new bag. I am your James Brown-like host, Ray Dudley. Yeah, coming to you from the Taj Mahal-like digs. WKXL Studios in Concord. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Mackenzie Goodwin and Angèlica Rosenthal. Did I get it?
You got it.
Yeah. Oh, man. They're in the house anyway, and we're talking about one of the 900 projects that Angèlica has on her slate. We want to go into prom. Tell me a little bit about prom. I was with Matt McGonigal this morning. I was telling him about that you were doing prom. And he goes, "Ooh, that's a really good show." And I said, "I know nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it." And he said, "Well, there's a movie." And I go, "Well, that doesn't help because I just said I didn't know anything about it."
So watch the movie.
I have no idea.
It's some culture.
So give me an overview and what drew you to it, besides the fact that maybe somebody reached out and said, "Would you do it?" But
No, that's not how it happened. Actually, we watched the movie. My parents were watching the movie.
Are you serious?
And they stopped it and had Jesse and I come down because they're like, "You got to watch it." And quite unfortunately, we watched The Prom. And then the same night, we also watched Matthew Morrison's The Grinch. And, oh, God, we should talk about The Grinch another time. I don't like Matthew Morrison, and I wish he'd stop. Anyway.
Well, it's out there in the ether now, isn't it? Can't
Every
get that
time
back.
I hear Hairspray and he's Link Larkin, I'm like, oh. Because I keep thinking about him in Glee when he sang the thong song, and it ruins everything he's ever done for me.
My brain is bleeding.
Yeah, he sang that while some woman was in the Princess Diana wedding dress as a suggestion for a song they could play at her wedding. I can't. No, you need to stop. So anyway, The Prom, we watched.
Oh, yes.
We watched the movie, and what Jesse and I felt was that the music was incredibly good. And so that's always the hit or miss in musicals. Sometimes the story's great, but the music's kind of mid, and then it makes it not a great musical. The music in the show is fantastic, and that's what really drew Jesse to it. But Jesse and I have watched this movie now multiple times. We've cried every time we've watched it. It is so moving. It has such a beautiful arc in writing of bringing you up, getting you really amped, and then crushing you down in the hardest way. That is just so heartbreaking. And it's true and it's real. And what I've learned from directing The Prom with this group, and I think you can maybe talk about it too, is that there's this big age divide where the kids that are in the show cannot fathom the hate toward gay people in a high school. But that's what I grew up with. And I've had to sit and explain to them that, when I was in high school, you didn't come out because that was the kiss of death.
Yeah.
And, I grew up with Matthew Shepard and that tragedy happening. And it is just so far removed from them, which I think is amazing. That shows so much progress.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's really beautiful. And it's hard to remember sometimes. I'm like, you need to commit to this. And they're like, I feel bad. And I was like, I know that. But it's what happened, and that's how it is. And that's still how it is somewhere. But I'm glad you've never had to grow up with that.
No kidding.
It's been it's been bittersweet.
So my ignorance of it, this is how it went. Matt said, The Prom. Do you know The Prom? I go, The Prom. Did it used to be called Carrie? That's all I know about high school. I said, "Oh,
It's the only high school show you know?
yeah, just about, yeah."
High School Musical?
Nope. No, I know. Look at me. I'm
See you next
I'm
week when we all
practically-
dissect High School Musical 1, 2, and 3.
I'm practically dust right now. I'm so old. So what? Give us a real overview. You've kind of touched a little bit about.
So these two high
the
school
agony.
young women want to go to prom together. They're lesbians, and the PTA has shut not only them down from going to prom, but the whole prom down altogether, because in the state of Indiana is saying you have to let people come, and they said, well, you know what? Then we're not having a prom, and so this incites a lot of bullying and hate toward this young girl, and a lot of kind of ganging up on someone and scapegoating this person of it's her fault when really, again, the PTA made this decision. So these 4 Broadway stars they're washed up, they're getting ripped in the reviews as narcissists, are looking for a cause. They talk about Habitat for Humanity. They talk about doing all these other things. They decide, actually Mackenzie's character finds the story on Twitter. And they go, you know what, we'll go there. We'll teach these hicks how to love each other. And then what it becomes is very much like social change moves slow, but they build a prom for all-inclusive everyone toward the end. And it is a lot of character growth for the Broadway people, and it is a lot of really in-your-face realism of what kids deal with when their parents disown them for being gay.
Oh, man.
It's harsh, and it's a reality, and it was a reality for some members of the cast. And some members of the cast have opened up about that because these kids are so removed from this reality, which is fantastic, that they go, this doesn't seem real. And then we've had to have cast members go, no, it is. And let me tell you my story about why I'm no longer in contact with my parents.
Oh.
And it's...
That is amazing.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know about the sweet part.
It's sweet that they don't have to deal with it. And it's sweet that, in my opinion, they never had to live that reality.
But to not be talking to your parents, I mean, I don't get it. I don't. I have a gay son, and I couldn't love him more.
Yeah,
it means nothing to me.
Who cares? I don't care.
Know.
Do what you want.
No
I'm
kidding,
not involved in
right?
it.
No kidding. So is it difficult? I mean, how do you think the audience will react to it, or accept it or not accept it?
So we have had some pushback from the public.
You have
about,
already?
Yes. The feeling that the show is maybe not appropriate for children to be doing, or...
Wait a minute, children? What age group is it?
8 and up. 8 to adult. It's a mixed show.
Got you.
And I don't stand behind that. Kids are gay, and they should be represented. And, I am very forthcoming of what shows are about. I have a disclaimer. Actually, the youngest member of the cast, his father is in the show as well. And if they want to be part of this, I'm not going to stand in the way. I'm not ever going to stand in the way of a marginalized group saying they want to do something. It's not my place. I'm not part of their group. I'm always here to be an ally, but I will never speak for them and tell them what they can and can't do.
Yeah. Mackenzie, is it tough for you? I mean, what's your take on all this?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I feel like I kind of found myself in a middle ground when I was in school of like, we were starting to become more tolerant, but I definitely experienced like a little of the hatred there. So it's interesting to see the kids in the cast react to it. And their experience with that, being high schoolers now. It's also just, I loved the movie, and the movie definitely made me cry as well. So it's an emotional process.
Are there famous people in the movie? I mean, are there big stars in the movie?
Meryl Streep.
Oh, really?
James Corden, Nicole Kidman.
Really?
Yeah. Andrew Rannells.
And who is the principal?
I have no idea.
It was Key or Peele, right?
Yes.
I'll have to have Andrew look that up for us.
Michael Key, potentially.
Yeah.
He was really good. He's the one who brought me to tears most of the time.
So I'm glad we have a group that is handling it as well as we are.
Yeah.
And it's a really supportive cast.
How big is the cast?
27, 25.
Wow, really?
I have no idea.
Really?
I think it's closer to 20.
It might be 20.
What was the question about the cast?
How many people?
And no,
Keegan-Michael Key was in that movie?
Yes, he played Tom Hawkins.
He's amazing.
There
He's
you
amazing.
go. There you go.
But yeah, we have our fun, and we joke around a lot. But when it comes down to it, we can be serious and handle the hard stuff. And
Yeah.
I think it's been a good process.
Yeah?
Well, and I think even so, a couple of the younger adults worked on Cruel Intentions tech-wise with us, and they couldn't fathom the language that was in that. Of, the F slur being thrown around casually and the R word being thrown around casually, but that's how people spoke in the 90s. And so seeing how shocking it is to them, it's renewing my faith in humanity, to be honest.
So do you think they're shocked because they've been sheltered from it? Or
I think they're shocked because they'd never say that casually.
Yeah.
And it is so casual throughout Cruel because, again, it was written in 99, and that's just how people talked. And why would you call someone that? Well, because I can.
Yeah.
And that's how people were. And my character was not particularly kind. So...
It's funny how the arc of society has changed. I mean, the 70s when I grew up, it's all love and, it's Woodstock. And
70s? That was 60s. 70s is when disco ruled the charts.
Disco didn't even find its footing till the 80s. Come on. But, it was they embraced everything at that point, but we kind of moved away, and now here we are having to come back to all of that.
What's old is new, right?
Yeah, kind of, right?
Right.
I mean, nobody cared what you did back in the 70s. My God, I'm not even going to get into some stuff. I might go to jail myself over that. Hang on. All right, you are listening to NH Unscripted. Yeah. Thinking about green onions. Yeah, you'll get this context in a minute. I am Booker T, and the MG's like host Ray Dudley. Yeah, coming to you. No, you won't get it. From the Gong Show-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls of Manchester. And already we're down to 2 blocks to go. Where does it go? We'll be right back. I knew we'd get in trouble at some point. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. We are your Hotel California. Yes, we are. I'm your Eagles-like host, Ray Dudley. They're coming to you from the not-so-overly ostentatious digs of the WKXL studios. A little nod there to Nom Nathan. WBC years ago. And, I forgot to thank my sponsor. Forgive me. The other day we had Jim Rosenberg in from our sponsor of the law offices of Shaheen and Gordon in Concord. Man, he brought up a lot of issues I would not have thought about. And he was so gracious, and we appreciate so much their sponsoring the show. ShaheenGordon.com is their URL. Their phone number is 603-614-5560, and we will be getting a lot of their attorneys in. I think one each month to come by, talk about all the different things they do there, and they do a lot. ShaheenGordon.com, that's their website, because, everybody should know a good lawyer. You'll find out as you get older why. Anyway, we are chatting, and there was a story that you brought up, Angèlica, where were we going with that?
Which one?
The urinal one.
Oh, the urinal cakes, yes. In every musical,
yes,
if not one but more, there's a song that I would call a bathroom song, which I will get up and go to the bathroom during because I am bored.
Well.
And all of my actors
things
know.
I didn't know I needed to know.
All of my actors know. Uh-oh, she's getting up during my song. So what I try to do preemptively is counter that so I'm not bored. If I'm bored at my own show, then I think everybody's bored. One instance that it just was what it was Oklahoma. Act 1 is very long. There was just nothing I could do. I had to just stagger it at a different place every time. But again, I think a lot of shows have these, ballads that drone on that mean nothing and do nothing. And I'm not interested in them. The Prom has a couple numbers that I think slow down the energy. I don't think they drone on. I don't think they're meaningless, but they slow down the energy. There's 2 numbers. There's one in Act 1, which is the principal of the school singing about how much he loves the theater because as an audience member, it's his escape, and it's so beautiful to him. And I hold that song so close to my heart because I think it's so easy for all of us to forget what it means to the people who have nothing to do with it. And that's why I started doing kids theaters. I wanted to give that back. And so what I tried to do with that is they're at Applebee's during the song, and I said, let's try and build a beautiful dance routine as if the theater's coming alive around him telling it. Let's make it a little more visually interesting to accent what he's singing. The song in Act 2 that I would have probably deemed a bathroom song is The Lady's Improving, which is Dee Dee, who is one of the Broadway stars, is with the principal, and she is reprising a song from another show she's been in that used to move him. So the song doesn't really have anything to do with the show, but it is character growth for her of like, I can be a better person. It's a little double entendre. And what they did in the movie is the scene right before, the principal is on the phone with poison control to find out if eating urinal cakes is going to kill someone because the wrestling team all took a bite of one. And I think that's great. And what I think...
Wait, you think what's great?
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I as a woman, I've learned a lot about urinal cakes in the past couple weeks.
I'm not going. I have no intention of
It was certainly
fleshing that out. Yeah.
certainly not something I had a lot of knowledge on personally.
Okay.
But now I do.
Huh.
So what I like to do is, yes, that's funny in its own right. But if we took it one step farther and fleshed it out, it would be a lot funnier. So in the movie, they do have the boys like waiting outside his office with blue lips. I said, I want them in his office. And we have one of them throwing up a urinal cake for half the scene.
Oh, my God.
And it was funny because those actors were like, the principal and Dee Dee were they're doing their thing. And they were like, I feel like you're kind of directing those four boys more than us. And I said, well, yeah, your stuff's planned out. They have no idea. They have no idea what my vision is. Like, I need to spend the most time with them. And those four gentlemen committed very hard to the bit. And so then what they will become is when she does The Lady's Improving, she leaves, she does a quick change, she comes in, she knocks one of their hats off, and then they become her backup dancers for that number. Bright blue lips. One of them will continue to eat a urinal cake throughout, like he saved one. And Mackenzie is making the edible urinal cakes.
Yes. I've become a little bit of a home baker.
Little facts. Who would have guessed?
So I heard about the urinal cakes and I was like, well, obviously, like, this sounds like so much fun. I want to get involved. So I'm going to spend the next couple weeks testing some ideas and recipes
Oh, my God.
to get the right
Oh
shape, color, consistency.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
unfortunately,
crazy.
they don't make lipstick and urinal cake blue.
No.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Huh. A little known fact. I would not have known
Well, and
that
I think
either.
it's nice because it's two women really working hard together on the urinal cake number.
Yeah.
Words I would not have
Breaking
expected
gender
to hear
norms.
today. How do you prevent them from detracting from what else is going on in that scene?
I guess what I would
because
say...
it would be possible. I mean, they could...
It would be possible, but
Yeah.
I guess what I would say is if my two leads can't hold an audience's attention, then they're not very good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, you've started with a joke there that, could take over.
It could. And if the two of them are dynamic and strong performers, it won't.
Okay.
I've had a lot of actors say, I don't want to take away, I don't want to, be distracting. I mean, with lighting, I have control a lot more of what is at the forefront.
Yeah.
But if my actors are strong and good at what they do, that's not your problem. It becomes distracting to me when it's bad.
Good point.
I want
Very
theater to be
valid.
real.
Yeah.
What's real? Those boys would still be there if we were calling poison control. Those boys would be annoying because they're stupid. They ate a urinal cake.
Excellent point.
And they're kids. And I don't want theater to constantly be this reality of like, okay, well, yes, that happened and that's there, but this is actually, I want it to be real. And so when I do scenes in like Sweeney Todd, for example, where we were out on the street, I was like, I hate watching Sweeney Todd when it's like one person's on the street of London. That's never happened. I want people moving. And so what I do with my ensemble is I'm giving everybody a situation. Actually, we just did Love Thy Neighbor. And I said, do you guys need something to talk about? Because what kills me is, yes, the leads know what they're doing. The ensemble, I direct every single person individually. here's what you're doing. Here's what you're doing. You're looking for your wallet. You don't know where your dad is today, and you're calling him to try and get him on the phone. Like
you get that involved.
I get ridiculously involved.
That's insane.
And I was going to say, Mackenzie and I just fleshed out. She's doubling in as an ensemble member in a number she wanted to be in, and I said we got to make it really different. And I gave her a very elaborate backstory.
Yeah.
So you care what everybody else on stage that nobody would normally pay attention to, right? They're just out there being...
I pay attention to those people, and they are black holes on stage. They are black holes. I went to see Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella once, and I saw a gentleman wandering on stage so confused about where he was the whole time.
What?
And I watched him the whole show.
Yes, that's my point, right? The people can...
So I was like, where is he? Still confused. No, I'm not interested in that. I would argue that I probably spend more time individually directing each ensemble member than I do with all of my leads combined.
Okay, that's impressive. Because they're usually throwaway things, right? They're just like, yeah, you guys go... Wow.
This is what kills me, too, is because I think ensemble has such a stigma, and people think that they're just set dressing or they're not really going to be used. Not in my shows.
Yeah.
And it sucks for me when people have never worked with me, and I say, you're going to be ensemble. When I say you're going to be ensemble, you're going to be 18 different people, and they're all going to be vitally important. I think, actually, Trail to Oregon was one of the wilder ones of you're Waluigi in this scene. You're Josh Hutcherson from Five Nights at Freddy's in this scene. You're the God Warrior here. And again, Jesse's the father. He knows what's going on. He knows what he's doing. Yes, I will tweak things. I will make sure things look right. I want my leads to play with the parameters they have, and I want to flesh out everybody around them.
So for people who don't understand, a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times, the ensemble can be the dumping ground for theaters, right? They just, I wanted to be in it, but I can't dance, I can't sing. Oh, we'll just throw you in the ensemble. And that person ends up just wandering around stage trying to figure out, where am I supposed to be?
What show am I in?
No kidding.
No. When I cast ensemble members, they're some of my strongest performers.
That's great.
Can confirm.
You need to be a triple threat in my ensemble because you never know what I'm going to ask you.
Wow.
And when I go, do you have a bad back? That's when you know. Things are about to go down. What's
this
happening?
Is fascinating.
Can also confirm that, producers.
Yes.
That is fascinating to me.
Every single member of my ensemble will have a specified, this is what you're doing, this is where you're going, this is why you're doing it. And it could change from scene to scene to scene.
Angèlica, these are the things that I hope the audience really get. This is why I love the show. Because it's these mechanics, it's these things. They'll never know it.
Right.
They will never understand what goes on in there. But that's valuable. That's important. But man, I'm impressed. Not that anybody gives a hoot. Anyway, welcome to NH Unscripted. We're going to take a break while Angèlica Rosenthal and Mackenzie Goodwin kind of regale me with all of these tremendous little tidbits. Yeah, you didn't think we were going to talk about urinal cakes, did you? Nah, no, me either.
I did.
1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM. You know, for the beautiful, beautiful folks in Manchester, we're down to the last block. What could possibly top those other three? Oh, we'll find out. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. Days like today are why I like to get out of bed. Yeah, kicks just keep getting harder to find. I am your Paul Revere and the Raiders like host, Ray Dudley. Saw them back in the 70s. Yep, Faneuil Hall down in Boston. We are coming to you from the Hollywood squares like digs of the WKXL studios. Yeah, and I love to sit in the center square. Anyway, we have Mackenzie Goodwin and Angèlica Rosenthal chatting. Yeah, I know. It's going to be tough to beat urinal cakes, but we're going to try. We are going to try. So.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Child's play.
American Idiot's coming up, correct?
It is.
And give us the deets on that.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
I definitely have them readily available. So American Idiot is going up in June. It goes up the last weekend of June, so June 28th, 29th. I'm sorry, 27th, 28th, 29th.
Okay. Where?
And that'll be at the Derry Opera House.
Okay. And overview of what it's about.
Oh.
And didn't you say your audition's coming up, though, right?
Yep. They haven't been set, but they should be in a month or so set because it goes up in June.
Okay. What's it about?
So American Idiot, per the script, takes place in a post 9/11 era.
You notice she prefaced it with per the script. Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It follows three young gentlemen who kind of all go separate ways as they're coming into adulthood. One of them gets stuck because he's knocked up his girlfriend, so he cannot leave. The other two leave and go out to the world. One of them ends up saying, I can't really deal with the world. He joins the military, and the other one kind of falls into a drug-induced rock bottom of a life.
You're going to leave it there?
And then
That's
they
it?
all come back together and live happily ever after.
Oh, I find that hard to believe. But
That's kind of how it ends.
All
but
right. So if people are thinking about auditioning, first of all, where would the auditions take place?
They would take place in Salem at our studio.
Okay. Those are your new digs, by the way, right?
They are.
Yeah. Where in Salem is that?
Oh, you know.
Off
it's on
exit
another-
1, 2?
232 North Broadway. It's next to McKinnon's.
My God.
I
She
love
just-
having
that-
Mackenzie here.
She just threw that out
She's
there.
the star.
Oh, my God. So people who is it a musical?
It is. It's operetta, so it's all sung.
Okay.
And it's all Green Day.
Oh.
Yes, it's
That's
Green
what
Day's music.
Oh, wow. So for people who might show up, what would they need to do? What would you be asking of them in an audition?
Probably the standard. There'll be Jen Ryder is the choreographer, so there'll be a dance audition. There'll probably a cut from the show or a Green Day song. My preference for that would be we're probably going to come in with a track because to do a Green Day song with just a piano gives like a Charlie Brown vibe to Green Day that I don't love.
Okay. I wouldn't have thought that, but okay.
Well, American Idiot was the first show that Jesse, my fiance, and I did out of college in the community with actor singers. The first show we did with actor singers, and it was our first show back out of college.
So did you choose this show?
I did.
You did. So did you choose?
Well, the people did. I'm a president
the
of the people.
What the people? That is so democratic of you.
Oh,
the
it's true.
people.
We did send out a survey. It
Okay.
was I put American Idiot on there because I was very much open to doing American Idiot, but I didn't think that's where it was headed. And it was unanimously voted on by every single person who filled out the survey except one person.
I didn't fill it out.
It was Mark Kelly. It's not his vibe.
Mark.
He didn't. Green Day's not his vibe. It's all good.
Okay.
He said, that one's not for me. And I said, I get it.
Okay.
But it was for everybody else. And so as a president of the people, I said, fine, we'll do it. Fine.
Yeah, twist your arm.
Oh, my God. Well, yeah, why? Why not? Great. Well, I put some others on there that I was like, we're not doing the music, man. You can vote for it, but we're not doing it.
You kind of forced the vote there, huh? That's interesting. So you obviously you will add your own flavor. So you did it once.
Yes.
And now you have the second time to do it. What do you think will change from what you did it the first time? Are you just going to as a template, just do it again?
Absolutely not.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
absolutely not.
Huh.
Every show should be different because it's coming from a different perspective of the person running it.
And time too, right? Things have changed.
Well, that's the thing. So this show came out and really dug into post 9/11, the George Bush era. And as fun as that was, our political climate has changed. Green Day is very outspoken about their dislike of the current administration. And I think it would be a disservice to them to not lean into that.
Meaning what? What does that mean to people who... Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to kind of crack a door open.
American Idiot is a highly political show.
It is.
And American Idiot, the album itself, was always kind of out to, question and criticize the government, which is one of America's founding
Of course.
attributes.
Absolutely.
It's what we're known for. It's why the Constitution was built. And so I think it's very important. Will that isolate people from the show? Yep.
Yeah.
But it did then. And that's what it's supposed to do.
Is it a very targeted audience that would go to it? I mean, I didn't know anything about it, but I was thinking of something like Rock of Ages, but I had no idea.
Rock of Ages is a comedy.
I
I
had
don't know
no
that I
idea.
described this as a comedy.
I had no idea.
No, it's a highly, political, anti-government musical. And when I saw it in London, I saw it, in 2016. They were still doing the 9/11 thing. And I'm going to be honest, I think we're all sick of it.
Yeah.
We've seen it. I lived it.
Yeah.
we're over it. So much worse. I shouldn't say worse, but so much more has happened on top of that because of 9/11 and beyond, that there is no need to just say, we'll just lock it in when it was written.
Yeah.
No. The script says a post 9/11 era. That's now for me. And what I've been doing is normally it starts out with all these videos of 9/11, George Bush talking, Dick Cheney, him dodging that shoe that was thrown at him. Love that one personally. I'm happy to start with 9/11, but I'm going way further than 9/11.
Yeah.
So.
You have that much flexibility?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's almost no specifications written into the script.
What?
It's just post 9/11.
What? Even the song? Are the songs
The
just
songs
that
are
neutral?
no, the songs are all locked in.
They
and
are.
The story is locked in.
Yeah.
But the way that you design and the way that you use video and projections, it is built to continue to evolve as humanity evolves.
Is it a heavy tech show?
It can be.
Yeah.
But it is also a very stripped away set. It's very like scaffolding. And
God, yeah.
I plan to just have everything revealed. You can see everything that's on there. We're not hiding anything.
Mackenzie, are you involved in it?
Not yet.
Not.
Fingers crossed.
Come on, I'm giving you a shoe in here. Do you know of the show? Do you know about it?
I do.
You do? I mean, you don't even look old enough to even know it exists. My God. What do you? Honestly, you look like 15. I can't get over this.
I get that a lot.
Me too.
No, I know the show, and when the last time Angèlica and Jesse did it, I was just a little too young to audition.
Yeah.
So it's cool that it's coming back around now that I'm an adult.
Have you seen it?
I have. I've seen videos of it. But I'm glad that we're doing it now. I think in combination with the prom, it's a good year to be doing both those things.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think a lot of people feel really helpless right now. And as an artist, sometimes making the art that makes people think about the stuff we're experiencing it's a good outlet for all those emotions and that feeling of helplessness.
Yeah. So the arc of the story, does it have a full arc? Does it like begin with something and end with something that, you know, or is it just open-ended where you're no, the audience is going to go away thinking, I can think this, you could think that.
I mean, I think all art is up to interpretation, but yes, there's a
Oh,
firm
that's
art.
such a...
Yes.
I can't believe you went there. But I know it's true. But I just was wondering if perhaps there was is it trying to shoehorn something in, a feeling, an attitude, or is it just really open to...
It's a very angry atmosphere.
It is,
and that is what I remember the George Bush years being when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When that album came out, people were mad. And that, I think, has only grown. Mm-hmm. And I think it's funny because, as Mackenzie said, the prom and American Idiot were picked before this political climate change, before the election happened. And regardless of how the election went, I was planning to do this show and go after whoever, whatever. I had things to say, and I'm going to say them.
Yeah.
I do think that I think there's problems with both parties, and I'm not afraid to say any of them.
Yeah. So the show, do you think it being a rock opera, first of all, you're going to hate me for this, but I know nothing about Green Day at all. But do you think that there are many people who would look forward to seeing this show?
So when we did American Idiot like a while ago, it's sold out every show. So I'm not super worried, and it's never done, just like the prom. So I think people are looking for an outlet here. I think Mackenzie's were dead on. All
right. You might want to just people audition. Go. Well, that's a quick hour. My goodness. You've been listening to NH Unscripted. I just want to thank again our sponsors, the law offices of Shaheen and Gordon. Yeah, baby, we are coming to you from the spotlight conditions of WKXL Studios. I can smell the chlorine from here, from the pool. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls of Manchester. We have been fortunate to have Mackenzie Goodwin and Angèlica Rosenthal in. Thank you so much. This is kind of the part 2 from the one we had last week. Yeah, I'll bet there's actually more out there, but yeah, maybe another time. Thank you.